I'm Jeffrey Giordano, Republican candidate for Miami-Dade County Sheriff's Office. There's 11 candidates, including myself, that are Republican and 4 Democrats running in the race. So I recently attended a meeting with the NAACP, National Association Advancement of Colored People. When I walked into the room, there were 5 chairs. Right away, I knew I didn't get the memo. It was myself and 4 Democrats in the room. Why? Because the other Republican candidates don't care about the common individuals. All they're caring about is chasing votes because this is a partisan race. But as sheriff, I want to hear the concerns of every community and every race and everyone, whether they're Democrat or Republican. So it's always a concern and a question that's brought up with the NAACP of racial profiling. But when does racial profiling become common sense and acceptable behavior in policing? See the question and see my response towards racial profiling in the town hall that shocked the room.
To addressing use of force incidents by the sheriff within the sheriff's department, and what measures you'd implement to address concerns of discriminatory practices in racial profiling.
As far as racial profiling, we really have to look at racial profiling versus common sense. If we look at the church incident in South Carolina, where that white individual went in and massacred everybody in that black church because they were black, that is a horrible, horrible incident. Even the minister would tell you, other than the picture of Jesus that they have hanging up in that church, he said that that church hasn't seen a white person in there in a decade. In a decade. So what would it take for an officer to drive by and see that and say, you know what, something doesn't belong here. Why is that white individual walking in there? Not to say he's not going in there for prayer, but why not stop him and ask? Maybe they could have stopped something like that. So racial profiling versus common sense. Even in Georgia, unfortunately, everyone remember the Aubrey incident? Gunned down by 3 racist individuals. Gunned down by 3 racist individuals.
Unfortunately, your time is up.
All right. You
made a plan. Yep. Aubrey,
So what I was referring to in the second incident, but my time ran out, was the shooting that happened in Georgia with Aubrey. These individuals gunned him down with shotguns like if he was a coyote in the wild. In Georgia, it's not like Miami-Dade County. You actually have segregated neighborhoods there. You have black neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, Hispanic neighborhoods, Mexican neighborhoods, and people are segregated in their neighborhoods. So if an officer would have saw this black kid running through an all-white neighborhood, whether he was justified or not, and just stopped him and asked him, son, what are you doing around here? Could he have saved this kid's life, or would he have been regarded as racial profiling? Or would he have saved his kids' lives from the real racists that were there going after him, that gunned him down in the streets of Georgia? On my first response regarding the shooting in South Carolina, a white individual went into a church and slaughtered blacks. And that was his intention, to kill black people that were praying in their belief system. As I mentioned in the video, even one of the ministers said, other than the picture of Jesus that was hanging on the wall, that church has not seen another white person in it in a decade. That riled up the crowd. Oh, did he just say Jesus is white, the picture of Jesus? Well, if an officer in that area, a prudent officer, would have seen a white individual walking into this church and said, hey, maybe this guy doesn't belong in an all-black church, and went in there to investigate, would that have been racial profiling, or would that have been common sense that he could have saved these individuals in the church? And when I left, I had 2 people come up to me and they said, by the way, Mr. Giordano, Jesus is black, and that's who we had hanging in our church, a black Jesus, and that's who they had hanging in their church. That just shows you the influence that celebrities can have on the community. The only place I ever heard that was through Dave Chappelle and Eddie Murphy. And that was my response to them. So I'm here to tell you, as Jeff Giordano, that Jesus is mulatto. Does that please everyone from the NAACP. I'm Jeffrey Giordano, candidate for Miami-Dade County Sheriff, and I want to hear everyone's concerns. And those are the messages I'm getting from the spirits. We'll see you in November, because we're going to win in August.